Practice Exam 2, Part 7. We're up to question 12. But let me clarify here something that it says in the beginning of Section B. So we're in the proofs section. Section B, the 100 of 160 points of the exam, is Section B, proofs. So it says, prove the following. In the practice exam it says, you must use IP, indirect proof, at least once, and CP, conditional proof, at least once somewhere amongst your proofs. And it does say something similar in your actual exam. This always confuses people, but it should be clear. There's a distinction between what you're allowed to do and what you are required to do. Okay, what it's saying you're required to do, so you've got 3 or 4 questions. All you have to do to satisfy the demand is one time amongst the 4 questions. So just once in one question does it, and never again in any of the other questions, use conditional proof. And once amongst the 3 or 4 questions, just once in one question and never again, use indirect proof. That's all you have to do to satisfy the demand. Okay? You have to use it once, so I am not asking you to use conditional proof and or indirect proof once in every question. Right? I'm only asking you to use it once amongst the 4 questions or 3 questions. Right? That's what you have to do. You may use it as many times as you want. Right? Conditional proof and indirect proof and all the other rules are available to you to use at will whenever you think it's appropriate and useful to do so. Okay, so you can use conditional proof on every question. You can use it 2 or 3 or 4 times. On one question if you want. Use indirect proof whenever you want. And avail yourselves of it at will. So you can use it as many times as you want. You have to use it, well, whatever it says, just once, at least once, amongst all of the questions of that section. It's not asking you that, it's not saying that instruction does not say to you that you have to use it once on every question. All right. But you should use, you should at least consider using conditional proof whenever your conclusion is a conditional, or whenever you see that you need to derive a conditional to push forward in the proof, whenever the conclusion of the proof is in the form of a negation, or you see that you need a negation to keep going. That would be a good time to use indirect proof, or at least consider the possibility of using indirect proof. That might be the way to go. All right, so that is pertinent advice for question 12. Question 12, we have these 2 premises, B and either A or B by conditional C, and my conclusion is this conditional, A hook C, right? Straight away I'm going to say, this is a conditional, I'm going to use conditional proof, right? It's going to be much easier than any other possible strategy, right? It's definitely not going to make any things harder, right? So what do? My conclusion is a conditional. I'm going to draw my subproof, right? Indent this, right? I'm going to assume the antecedent. I'm seeking to derive the consequent of the conditional. Very crucial, using indirect proof. Put the formula that is the consequent down the bottom of the subproof. Once I have obtained that formula, I know I'm done with the subproof, and I discharge my assumption and justify this formula by conditional proof. Okay? Right, that's what I'm doing. How am I going to prove A hook C? I'm going to say, assume A. Let me show you how to derive C, assuming A. What have I shown you? I've shown you that if A, then C. That's conditional proof. Okay, so now look at what I've got. I've got A to go with these 2 formulas. You should see how very, very useful that is. Right. So prem for these 2. That's the justification for steps 1 and 2. A proof is a sequence of justified steps. Even steps 1 and 2 are justified. They are justified by being premises. Because the justified step is either a premise or an assumption or a step that follows from the previous steps according to the rules of inference. Step 3 is justified precisely by being an assumption. Assumption, brackets, for conditional proof. Okay? I'm a step away from a disjunctive syllogism, right? I'm going to double negate A. I've got got a disjunction. Well, before I do that, let me do some bottom-up reasoning, right? That's the conclusion I want to derive, was A hook C overall. I encourage you to apply your mantra as you work backwards, right? This is a conditional. The rule to derive conditional, a good rule to derive conditionals is conditional proof. It's not the only rule, but, right? Hypothetical syllogism is another one. There's others. All right, so I assume the antecedent, put the consequent down here. And now, where am I going? What am I doing? My problem has reduced to basically deriving C. C is my conclusion. Apply my mantra to C, right? How do I derive C? I am home free with this proof. Besides completing the annotation, right, writing out the justified steps, I have to write conditional proof number 3 to I don't know yet, right? But besides annotating the proof, I'll have to do that, but besides that, once I get C, I am home free. I'm done. So how do I get C? Where's it going to come from, right? I'm bottom-up reasoning, working backwards, seeking to figure out how I'm going to get C. So that question leads to the question, where does C occur, plus or minus indication, amongst the premises? The premises. Only here, right? So what I want to do pretty clearly is break this sub-formula off, break this disjunction, break this sub-formula off, B biconditional C, use the biconditional exchange, and then I'll have biconditional exchange will allow me to get B hook C, right? And then I'll be able to modus ponens my way to C, right? That's how I'm going to do it. All right, so I want to get B biconditional C by itself. Pretty easy here. I've got the A, so I'm pretty close to a, right, this is a disjunction. I'm probably going to use disjunctive syllogism. Another way you could do it, you could transform 2 by conditional exchange, make it A hook, B by conditional exchange, and then modus ponens with this. But let me do it this other way. A, I'm going to double negate 3, right? Double negate 3, and now this is in the form of the negation of one of these disjuncts. So step 5, I've got the disjunct B biconditional C by itself, by 2 for disjunctive syllogism, 6. Now I'm going to, what do you do with biconditionals? Not much except biconditional exchange. B, hook, C, and C, hook, B, 5, B, E. All right. I could go simplify both. I'm only going to simplify I'm only going to simplify to the left conjunct and get B hook C. 6 simp, that's the only one I need, right? Because now I've got, right, 1, 7, modus ponens, right? Now I've got B hook C, simplify from here, and I've already got the antecedent of that conditional, so I can modus ponens my way to what I need, C, okay? Have I completed my proof? No, right? If you walk away from the proof at this stage, you lose a couple of points because you have left steps unjustified, right? This was number 8. You number this. You now know what number this is. Notice that it's not to the end of the proof that you know what number your actual conclusion is. You put it down the bottom, the proof. You don't know what number it's going to be until the end. Took me 8 steps to get there. So step 9. And what's my justification? It is conditional proof 3 to 8. 3 dash 8. And that's my annotation of the proof. Why? How have I proved this? Well, I've got those 2 premises. Given those 2 premises, if I assume A, as I showed you, these are all justified steps, C follows. Assuming A, C follows. Therefore, if A, then C. That's conditional proof. Okay? All right, that is 12. We'll come back for 13.